Hey everybody, my name is Rob Woodbridge from Untethered.tv. What you're about to see here is a short clip of a much longer episode. It can be found on Untethered.tv. So if you really are interested in this, go to Untethered.tv, do a search for this title, and you'll find it there. But enjoy this short clip.
Right? Like, there could have been moments in time when we just decided to, okay, all right, we'll do video, we'll do points and incentives, we'll do all this BS. Because sometimes they do ask for it just because they want to test, they just want to see what you can do. But it's the trick and sort of the thing you have to really hone in on is not succumbing to the things that are against your principles. And so I think we're more proud of really the things we haven't done in many ways than the things that we did do, because we made sure we were very core to what the vision really was.
Do you have any examples of those things? Is it?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah. So I'm sure that the audience will have a chance to Google or sort of get a basic understanding of what we do. But when we first started, it was real rewards for virtual achievements in games. That was the first line that we came up with, and that became the early part of the Kiip pitch. And the idea was you would level up in a game, and in these moments of delight and happiness, there would be an opportunity to be rewarded, and we wouldn't tell you how to get the reward. That was a key thing. So it was, hey, it's not like I say, hey, Rob, hit level 10 and I'll give you this gift card. It was just do what you're doing already, and something natural will happen. It's like a surprise and delight. Now, that was number one. That was the one that we constantly get challenged on. It still happens today, right? Where it's like, well, why don't you just make it so that you tell them, right? So that we can dangle the carrot. And I am so stubborn on this point that it's become a signature of the company, that it is what makes Kiip, is the serendipity of it. That we don't want to turn you into Pavlovian dog, because you aren't. You're a human being. We want you to go about your day, do the things that you do naturally, and then have something there that's supposed to naturally augment that moment. So it's almost like making that moment better that you've already engaged in. So that's the one example I would say that a lot of we could have gone many ways. We could have said, oh yeah, okay, fine. You download this app, you watch this video, do all these things, then we'll give you it, right? And we have millions of these rewards in inventory. We could do tons of things to make you jump through, but we don't want it, because that's just not who we are. And in fact, if I were to do that, I'm sure a lot of our company would leave today, because that's not why they joined the company. They had a lot of real reasons why they were excited about this model. So that's the first one. The second is video. So we've refused to make video a part of our model for a while now. And here's the thing. It's not because I'm not a fan of using video. And people always have a huge thing. They go, Brian, video is a staple in advertising, blah, blah. It's just that until someone figures out a way to make it so that it isn't the most interruptive thing on the planet when you see a video ad on your phone, then we're not going to partake. And we have some ideas. We've been working on a few. But until I feel like if I use myself as a litmus test and I'm doing something in it, and then I see the video and I go, oh my God, I just want to vomit, then I'm not going to do that, right? So that's the first requirement. And that's how I describe it to a lot of the advertisers we work with. I was like, listen, guys, you can use yourself as a thermometer. It's very easy, right? You don't even need to survey people. If you don't like it, most likely a lot of people don't like it, right? Yeah. And you know who you are, especially when they make exceptions and convince themselves that, because the client's paying all this money, I'm happy to destroy everybody's user experience, right?
Isn't that funny though? Brian, isn't that funny that people forget that they're users when they get into that selling mode? It's like, who consumes this? Well, the user does. Well, are you a user? Yes. Yeah. Well, then would you consume that? No. Well, then why do you do it?
We're all users.
Yeah,
we're all
it's
human
crazy.
Beings. Yeah, we happen to be. You're a human being, right? I'm a human being. Why don't we just use ourselves as a way to test it? So that's the second. And the third one is interesting, is points. Now, I think there's a lot of models that have been out there that use their own points and sort of help you sort of earn them and go to a catalog. My theory is quite simple. I'd rather use someone else's points. Right? That's really the way that we took this. Was I don't want to spend all this time building a currency and needing to manage it and showing people what the value is. Why don't we just use stuff that already has value? Like, we work with Amex. Amex has their membership rewards. You've got United Miles. You've got all sorts of points that are out there. Air Miles up in Canada. that stuff already exists, right? Why would I want to make a new one when there's already tons of people to pay attention to? That's the first reason. Second was I didn't want to distract people, and it attracts a different type of audience. Now, I like to describe that Kiip as the first sort of model of engagement that reaches normal human beings. Because when you think about an engagement, there's many ways. You find the 5% of people that are super obsessed with collecting as many things as they can and compiling them and showing them off and being just, into that whole thing. But not everybody does that, right? And that's, if you ask a room of 10 people, how many people actually do it? I'd say, yeah, maybe 2 people will do it, but 8 people will be like, you know what? I have a job. I have I have things to do every day. I don't just spend time thinking about how to compile points. So that's why we wanted to make it as widely applicable. And the way we would do that would be to make the rewards instantaneous. And it was also to align with the fact that, people today have this schizophrenic complex where we literally just like look at our phone and then, put it away. And it's just like, there's only a few seconds there, right? You can't do something that makes you wait. It's like, oh, okay, all right, I got to wait till the end of the month. Then I'll know how many points I got or whatever. And then I'll go and buy something. Yeah, with the points.
But all of those things seem logical in there. But you're going against the grain, because if you in a typical situation, if you took all those 3 away, people would ask you, say, okay, well, then
what is it?
What is it?
Yeah, exactly. Right? That's the hard part, dude. It wasn't ever easy. Nothing that's gonna make the world a better place is an easy thing to do. If it was easy, then everybody else would do it. So what we decided to do was, let's fight this. Let's make sure people realize that the whole point of this is not to advertise to or show something to or display something or get impressions or increase uplift and all this stuff. The whole point is to create a relationship with your potential customer, right? And you create a relationship through something that's genuinely human. And the way it's human is by making it reciprocal, by making it serendipitous. These are all very human things. We just compare it to how you interact with your friends and your loved ones. It's super simple. You don't just, when you go into a conversation at dinner, go, hey, would you like to work with me on this project? Hey, can you help me move? Hey, can you help me move? Hey, can you help me move? No, it isn't. It's, hey, let me just be a human being and talk to you, interact with you, spend time with you, reciprocates, sort of surprise you. This is just how we interact with each other. Why can't brands the same? And the other thing I'll say is, you have these very big CPG companies, right? That every one of them, I challenge you to look for their mission statement. Every single one of them has something in their mission statement about improving consumers' lives, right? This is what they do. Yeah. At least they convince themselves that that's what they do too, which is fine. At least they're trying to. And the thing is, their advertising doesn't do that. The advertising shits on your life, right? So I was like, if your products do this, or you want your products to do that, your extension of your product, which is your advertising, right? How you reach people, how you tell people what it is and what you're about to buy, that method should also help improve people's lives. And the other thing I will say that I got frustrated by the other day, I was talking to this app developer, and I won't name any names, but they know who they are, is, and they even admitted that they had a little bit of a problem, was that, they were like, oh, I really want to make it so that people have to complete this ad or do this because otherwise we won't make any money. How do we pay the bills? And I'm like, so you're saying that you feel like you have to destroy the user experience in order to pay the bills? They're like, yeah, that's just the equation, right? I mean, this is how it works. Like, but you don't have to accept that fact, right? Like, let me be the shining light. Let me explain to you that there has to be the solution where everybody wins. And that's when we decided to introduce what we did. But there are people that still feel that that's the case. And that's not just a small percentage. There's a large percentage of people who go, yeah, okay, all right, all right. I don't really want to put these ads in there. But all right, I got to pay the bills. I got mouths to feed. And I'm like, that's not the equation you have to abide to. That's not a law of physics. That is a human-made thing that we can absolutely change.